The lights of Madison Square Garden blazed bright, reflecting off the championship belt resting on the table in front of Ethan Cross, the undefeated MMA champion and billionaire CEO of Cross Industries. He was known for his brutal knockouts in the octagon and his cold precision in the boardroom. People feared him. Few dared to cross him. That's why, when Ethan's PR manager announced a charity fight, a single exhibition match worth $10 million, the entire sports world leaned forward in their seats. The twist? Ethan had personally chosen his opponent, a single-dad veteran named Jack Carter. Jack wasn't a professional fighter. He'd served 2 tours in Afghanistan, came home with a limp, and worked 2 jobs just to support his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. He had no sponsors, no training camp, no corporate backers, just grit, discipline, and the quiet dignity of a man who'd seen more than his share of battles. When reporters asked Ethan why he picked Jack, he simply smirked. Sometimes you find a fight worth having, outside the octagon. The media speculated endlessly. Was Ethan mocking him? Was this a publicity stunt? Jack didn't care. The $10 million purse could change Lily's life forever, pay for her surgeries, her schooling, and maybe even give her a home that didn't leak when it rained. Fight night. The crowd roared. The contrast was surreal, Ethan in custom shorts lined with gold trim, Jack in plain black gear with Lily's name stitched into the waistband. Round 1 began. Ethan moved like a predator, but to everyone's surprise, he wasn't going for the kill. He let Jack swing, dodge, and even land a few shots. The crowd cheered for the underdog. By round 3, Jack was clearly outmatched, but he refused to quit. Every punch he threw looked like it carried the weight of every sleepless night, every late shift, every sacrifice he'd made for his daughter. And then, in the final round, something shocking happened. Ethan dropped his guard. Jack's right hook connected squarely. The champion staggered, and fell. The arena gasped. The referee counted. Ethan didn't move. But when the replays rolled later, something unusual became clear. Ethan had taken that punch on purpose. After the match, in the locker room, Ethan approached Jack, smiling through a swollen lip. "You fought like a lion," Ethan said. "But this fight wasn't about me winning, it was about you standing in front of the world and proving you never quit. That's worth more than any belt." He handed Jack not just the $10 million purse, but an additional $5 million check from his own pocket. "For Lily's future," Ethan said quietly. "Tell her she's got a friend for life." Jack's eyes filled with tears. This wasn't a stunt. Ethan had known about Lily's medical bills. He'd seen Jack's GoFundMe page months before. This entire fight had been staged, not for glory, but for hope. The strongest fighters I've ever met aren't in this ring. They're single parents, soldiers, nurses, people who get up every day and fight for someone else. Remember that. The crowd stood in applause. That night, social media exploded, #FightForHope trended worldwide. Donations poured into veteran charities. And Jack? He bought a house with a big backyard where Lily could run without a care in the world. The morning after the fight, Jack woke up before sunrise, the way he always had during his service days. For a moment, he forgot where he was, the quiet hotel room, Lily curled up in the other bed, the faint scent of antiseptic from the hospital visit she'd had earlier that week. Then he saw it on the nightstand. The $15 million check. His hands trembled. He didn't just see money, he saw her future. He saw surgeries without loans, school without debt, a home that didn't break every time the wind blew. For the first time in years, the weight on his chest felt lighter. When Lily woke, she rubbed her eyes and smiled. "Daddy, did you win?" Jack smiled back, swallowing the lump in his throat. "We both did, sweetheart." That afternoon, they went to the hospital for Lily's appointment. Word had spread fast, nurses stopped them in the hallway to congratulate him, strangers shook his hand. But Jack noticed the change in Lily. She wasn't just the girl who was sick anymore. She was the girl whose dad fought the champion and won. Later that week, Ethan called. "Got a job for you, Jack. No gloves this time. I need someone I can trust to run a new veterans outreach program. Benefits, housing, health care, the works. You in?" Jack didn't hesitate. "I'm in." Over the next year, Jack became more than a success story. He traveled the country speaking to other veterans, raising funds, and reminding them that they hadn't been forgotten. Lily's surgeries went well, and she started school in the fall, healthy, smiling, and unstoppable. One evening, as Jack watched her play in their backyard, Ethan stopped by. No cameras, no reporters, just two men who'd fought battles of very different kinds. "You know," Ethan said, leaning on the fence, "you taught me something that night." "What's that?" Jack asked. "That being a champion has nothing to do with belts, and everything to do with who you're willing to fight for." Jack smiled, watching Lily twirl in the fading sunlight. "Guess that makes us both undefeated, huh?" And in that quiet moment, they both knew, the final move hadn't been in the ring. It had been in the choice to fight for something greater than themselves. Months turned into years, and the bond between Jack and Ethan grew into something neither had expected. They weren't just friends, they were brothers forged not by blood, but by shared battles and mutual respect. Ethan's outreach program exploded in impact, reaching thousands of veterans who'd fallen through the cracks. Jack was often the first face they saw when they walked through the door. A man who understood their silence, their